Hi, I'm Cheryl Selby, and what I'm going to try to do for you today is explain what a cultural access program is, its intended benefits, and how it works. I call it Cultural Access 101. So cultural access is a tool for local governments to strengthen and expand access to arts, science, and heritage experiences in their communities, especially for school children. The state legislature created this program with a new law in 2015. It allows revenue from a voter-approved sales or property tax to be used to strengthen local cultural organizations and increase access to their public programming. The Olympia City Council chose to put forward an increase in the sales and use tax of 0.1%, which is equivalent to 10 cents on every $100 spent in sales. Once passed by the voters, it will be in place for 7 years. This new taxing authority is called cultural access because the end goal is to make sure that quality cultural programming is readily available to everyone. The legislation was created at the end of the recession, and it recognized the importance of the cultural sector to a healthy and resilient economy. No one anticipated how valuable it could be in addressing pandemic recovery as well. So why a sales tax? Because Olympia is a regional business and retail center that attracts visitors to our auto mall, our West Side retail mall, our amazing downtown with restaurants and all of our theaters. And as well, we're the state capital. So people come from all over the state and actually all over the country to visit our state capital. And while they're here, they may shop, they may get a bite to eat. So all those sales tax dollars are collected from a broader area than just the city of Olympia. So that is why we felt that those people that are coming here, they're enjoying what we have to offer, and they're also helping to pay to increase our access to these other experiences for our community. We have an example of what we would be collecting as well, because in 2018, the city passed the Home Fund, which was a 0.1% sales tax. And so that's been in place for 4 years. And so we now collect about $2.3 million from that 0.1% sales tax for housing. So that is the amount that we would be collecting for cultural access. So it's a pretty significant amount. It could be a game changer for our community. So note that the intent statement of the cultural access legislation has 2 parts: to provide public and educational benefits and economic support for cultural organizations. The idea is that, supported with a stable source of public funding, local cultural organizations can provide greater access to higher quality public and educational benefits for the entire community. You can think of it this way. Cultural access is a method of investing in the local economy to enhance quality of life, community cohesion, and equity. Those are 3 values that are called out specifically in our comprehensive plan, which is our guiding document for everything we do with the city. So what is a cultural organization? Cultural organizations in the legislation are defined as nonprofit 501c3s whose primary purpose is the advancement and preservation of science or technology, visual or performing arts, botany, anthropology, heritage or natural history, and who provide direct public programming or experiences to the general public. Cultural access funds can be used to support and enhance an organization's program offerings, but they can also be used for utilities and rent. They can be used for capital investments in upgrades to equipment and facilities, for marketing. They can be used for capacity building through adding staffing and training. They can also help organizations improve and achieve new or expanded levels of service. So what would this look like for Olympia? Cultural access is an investment the community makes that shows in these ways: more neighborhood events, more festivals and programs that activate public spaces, free and reduced priced admission, more activities and experiences for students, bus transportation for outings and field trips, creative partnerships amongst organizations and solo artists, programs that will activate and enliven core curriculum, and more programs to meet needs of underserved populations. Again, access promotes equity and diversity. I also want to call out that we plan on working with existing nonprofits to incorporate solo artists in their programs and their proposals. We understand that Olympia, part of what makes Olympia so incredible is our solo artists and our individuals that might not be associated with a 501c3. So we also want to work with the Olympia School District to make sure that individual artists are included in program offerings and to help enhance curriculum modules in the schools. So framework and accountability. The Olympia City Council doesn't put anything on the ballot without thinking long and hard, especially if it's about raising taxes. So we want to make sure that the community will benefit and that we can show the community that those benefits and that there's absolute transparency. So how we'll do that is once voters approve a taxing measure and a cultural access fund is created, funds are distributed through a granting program with a framework of certain requirements. But within those requirements, implementing communities do have flexibility to shape the programs to meet their unique needs and values. Implementing programs must establish a city advisory group. And this will be a group of citizens from our community that will be kind of our auditors. They'll make sure that the program is developed within rules that are instilled from the legislation, but also rules that fit our community. They'll also be our guiding group to make sure that we are following all the rules and that there is transparency. This group will initially establish criteria and guidelines for grant distribution. Remember, there has to be a discernible public benefit from funded activities and projects, and that group will make sure that those needs are met. They will also set standards for performance and evaluation. They'll set allocations for public school programs, other community programs and organizations, as well as administration. The law encourages creation of a representative and diverse advisory group to help guide program implementation. So a question that we get frequently is, why now? These are challenging times, and uncertainty, is everywhere. But we feel like that is why we need a program like this, because supporting and expanding the work of our creative sector just makes sense now. We need it for greater social cohesion and healing, because shared cultural experiences act like social glue. They remind us of our shared humanity and build bridges towards greater understanding. We need it for schools, teachers, and learners of all ages. We've all lost so much during the pandemic, and hands-on learning and creative expression are an antidote to virtual learning and digital social lives. We need it for greater equity in our community, because low-income, minority, and vulnerable populations have been hit hardest by the pandemic. And making access to quality public resources is even more important now. We need it for the economy, because the cultural economy is significant to Olympia's economy and our character, and it has been deeply impacted by the pandemic. So the creative sector, I think of as Olympia's superpower. It's a big part of what distinguishes us from our neighbors, and it's why Olympia is a regional center for cultural expression. So where have we been and what's next? Some people are saying, oh gosh, this is a new idea and it's coming on so fast, the elections in April. So where did this all come from? And I want to assure our community that there's been a local group of supporters that were actually instrumental in getting the legislation passed in 2015. And they've been holding on to the right time to bring this forward to the voters. And so they approached the council over a year ago, and we started working together on figuring out what this would look like for Olympia and how this would work for us. And the council supported funding a consultant to come in and work with focus groups of folks around the community to figure out where are the gaps in our services and what they could do if they had more funds. And so we worked with these groups in October, and in November, based on that feedback, we drafted a resolution for council, and it was passed unanimously in December to put this cultural access program on the ballot in April. So since then, a local community group of folks that want to help make this thing successful formed to become Inspire Olympia. And so that's the name of the campaign for a cultural access program. So Inspire Olympia has been meeting since last fall, and in January formalized and has since that time been presenting to community groups to ask for support and just raise awareness. They've also, we have plans for doorbelling in, next month. We have yard signs that you might be seeing all around town. Our website is up, and I'll share that in a minute. Our social media on Facebook and Instagram is up and going. We've got amazing endorsements that you can find out on our website, and we've been raising funds. It's expensive to run a campaign, and so we have a goal of $40,000, and we've raised 30 so far. Really, really excited about where we are, and it shows a lot of broad support from our communities, not just organizational support, but individuals as well. And again, April 26th is Election Day. So here's our logo. You might have seen it around town, Inspire Olympia. And we have a kind of a saying, a little math here: arts plus culture plus heritage plus science plus access equals Inspire Olympia. And so our website is listed there as well, inspireolympia.com. Like I said, you can go on the website and get more information on this. You can also email us at info@inspireolympia.com if you have more questions. There's an opportunity on the website to sign up for our emails. You can also sign up to volunteer or endorse or also make a donation. So here's how you can help: endorse, you can donate, you can volunteer, sign up for emails, host a yard sign, and check out our website. And again, if you have questions, you can email us at info@inspireolympia.com. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you at the ballots.